Okay, so welcome everyone. This is the Spanish Embassy Fellowship series that we are doing for this year. This year we do not have the festival, so instead we are doing these series of lectures that is a taste of what the Spanish Fellowship is. Like the competition prize is a 6 months fellowship with mainly Jose Manuel Dapena, and there are the two other teachers, Fernando Espí and Francisco Bernier. Um, Today, this is in association with the Spanish Embassy and CCGS. We are going to do guitar transcriptions by the lectures by Fernando Espí, and yeah, I hope you enjoy. And tomorrow and day after there are two more lectures by Jose Manuel da Pena. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very
So
much. Thank you very much, Akash.
Thank you.
We are now with Fernando Espí. Where are you, Fernando, in Valencia or where?
In Alicante.
He is in Alicante, fantastic teacher and composer from Alicante. And he is a specialist in many fields of Spanish music, but he has a full CD of Francisco Tárrega transcriptions. So this is the field we are going to cover today. So go ahead, Fernando.
Okay, nice to speak with you. It's a pleasure for me to stay here. Sorry for my English. If I have any doubts, I can ask Jose Manuel, or we have the Google Translator. No? I would like to make today a theoretical masterclass about guitar transcriptions, especially the job of the great guitarist and composer Francisco Tárrega. I could say Francisco Tárrega is the father of the modern transcription, the guitar transcription. First of all, I would like to ask you, very short because we don't have too much time, if you consider that it's necessary to play guitar transcriptions in a concert, live concert program recording. Why do you think nowadays great guitar performance still plays guitar transcriptions? And if you consider that it's necessary to play this kind of repertoire, or we can only play original pieces for guitar. So could you participate very shortly? Do you think it's okay for nowadays to play guitar transcriptions?
Yeah, somebody can ask. Sunil, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it is really good to play transcriptions as well, because you have different ideas as to what other instruments are playing, and how you can convert that into guitar and play it in the guitar. It is something very special. So it is a good practice to also play transcribed pieces for the guitar, I feel.
One more else? No? No answers? Okay, I would like to give you one idea. We have a great and a big repertoire for guitar, original pieces, and great composers, not only guitar players, but composers, and people that can write music for the orchestra, for other combinations, not only for the guitar, or they are not guitar players. We have big names We have Manuel de Falla, for example, Spanish composer. Who else we could say? Takemitsu, for example, Japanese composer. But we need to translate ourselves to the beginning of the 20th century. I have one idea, and I think you could agree with me. At the beginning of the 20th century, most of the repertoire was only for guitar players, created for or by guitar players. Fernando Sor, Dionisio Aguado, Mauro Giuliani, Ferdinando Carulli, Gaspar Merz, etc., etc. Do you know any composer that didn't play the guitar and write for the guitar? You could say, for example, Paganini, a great violinist, violin player. Yes, he wrote for the guitar, but he also played the guitar, and he loved the guitar. Who else? For example, the big name Schubert, Franz Schubert. Schubert wrote pieces for violin and guitar, 15 valses, I think, and a quartet. You could say, okay, Schubert is a big name, a famous composer, and he wrote for the guitar, yes, but we think nowadays that he played the guitar. He also had a small guitar at his home in that time. Berlioz, Hector Berlioz, for example, also wrote exercises, small pieces, and songs for voice and guitar. He also played the guitar. So till the beginning of the 20th century, all the repertoire for guitar players was written for guitar players. So in that time, Francisco Tárrega had the good idea to say, okay, if I want to make the guitar is a big instrument, an instrument that can play in big hall concerts, we need a big repertoire, the canonic repertoire, the pieces, the great pieces by Bach, Beethoven, Mozart, Chopin, etc. So Francisco Tárrega is not the first guitar player that make a transcription for guitar from the other instrument. For example, Merz made guitar transcriptions from Schubert songs, or Napoleon Coste, French guitar player, made transcriptions from the guitar repertoire from the big Robert de Bizet, also guitar player. But Tárrega was the first to make a big repertoire from pieces from the other instruments, created for other instruments, piano, orchestra, that kind of things. So let me show you, I want to share. Yeah, thank you. This is the CD I recorded many years ago, and I think Jose Manuel La Pena has mentioned it before. But I want to share the notes I wrote for this recording. These notes are very important to understand why Francisco Tárrega is so important, not only for his original pieces for guitar, but also for the big repertoire made for transcriptions. Let me see. It's very important. Here you have Tomás Bretón is a Spanish composer, opera music. Look, Pablo is Pablo Sarasate, a great violinist in that time. You are a great artist with the violin, and Tárrega is with the guitar, with the difference that you have a magnificent repertoire made for the instrument of greatest standing, while Tárrega has had to create himself own pieces, an interesting repertoire for a discredited instrument, of limited defense. Amazing words. What in that time the guitar was a popular instrument, not classical, high level. Jose Marti, for example, I have heard the guitar played to the point of fandangos and ballads on the instrument. Thalberg, Mark, I heard he's from Tárrega. Tárrega is, moreover, a consummate harmonist, original compositions and transcriptions, okay. To hear him play the Beethoven sonatas, the Thalberg Funeral March, the Mendelssohn Canzonetta and Romances, the Waltz, etc., etc. So many works of great pianistic difficulty, not detail missing, with harmonic plenitude and with the interpretative mastery and talent. In addition to his own compositions, he played national work and transcriptions, okay? And found understanding of the difficulties of the instrument. I would like to explain this. For example, this is very important. We know that Isaac Albéniz heard the transcription by Tárrega of Granada, the Serenade Granada by Albéniz. I recall having written another time that when Albéniz heard his famous Serenata Granada in a guitar arrangement by Tárrega, he felt such emotion that all he could exclaim was, "This is what I had conceived." And Miguel Llobet, a student, the famous guitar player and a student of Tárrega, he wrote, "The transcriptions were the genre in which he obtained outstanding tunes. This can perfectly be described as genuine creations. It was admirable how he appropriated the author's ideas to the point where most of the great master's compositions produced exactly the effect of having been directly inspired for the guitar." This is very, very, very important, this note. I would like to ask you again the same question. Why do you think we need to play guitar transcriptions nowadays? For me, one important reason is that we need to have a big repertoire. We need to have big names. We need to have famous composers. You can say nowadays we can play Bach music, the lute suites, okay, but these pieces are not original for the guitar. You can say, okay, we play Weiss, Silvius Leopold Weiss, also for lute, not for guitar. Scarlatti, the same. You can play music by Mozart, Beethoven, Schubert, Schumann, Chopin, Brahms. These big names, not easy. So in that time when Tárrega brought his own music, he also thought that to put the guitar in a big hall and to have a general audience, not only guitar fans, amateurs, he had to create his own repertoire, composed by original pieces and big pieces for great composers. So that is the reason why I think Francisco Tárrega is so important not only for the guitar history by his own pieces, by his studies, by his students, but also for the guitar transcriptions. He showed us a new way. So nowadays, for example, all the famous guitar players, David Russell, Manuel Barrueco, John Williams, Julian Bream, Annelio Desiderio, whatever you want, Martin Dilla, they play transcriptions. And we have a good repertoire now. We have good names, we have big pieces, we have so many pieces that you need more than one life to play all the original pieces for the guitar. But nowadays we are still playing that kind of pieces. Pieces by Granados, pieces by Albéniz, pieces by Falla, pieces by 19th century composers, famous composers, jazz music, folk music, whatever you want. We need that kind of pieces to create a bigger repertoire. So, okay, about guitar transcriptions by Tárrega. I also, it's for the second masterclass, next masterclass, we can explore with more detail the aspects of the technique of Tárrega to make these transcriptions, because now there are two fields, two ways to make an arrangement, guitar arrangement. The modern guitar transcription is more literal, as to be more clearer to the original piece. For the piano, for example, piano music, we try to put all the notes, all the harmonies inside the guitar. Francisco Tárrega had another idea. He wanted to adapt the main melody, the main harmony, but not all the notes, the music. Why? Because he wanted to create a piece that in the guitar flows or works really well. So that's important. How if you nowadays you want to make arrangement of, for example, Granada by Albéniz, probably you will write different things from Tárrega. But it's important that in that time Tárrega showed to the world, to the music world, that the guitar could play big pieces, not only the original pieces for the guitar. Nowadays, if you are interested to play music by Tárrega, not only the original pieces, but the transcriptions, you have different editions. For example, I am going to share this is one edition, Francisco Tárrega guitar transcriptions, Melby, selected and edited. Okay, this is the index of Melby. We have pieces by Bach, pieces by Beethoven. Could you hear me? It's okay?
Yes, perfectly. Go ahead.
Okay. Pieces by Bach, by Beethoven, Berlioz, Bizet, Chopin, Grieg, Handel, Haydn, this is Ignaz von Seyfried, Henselt, Mendelssohn, Mozart, Schubert, Schumann. Okay, big names. And you can see the quantity, the quality, the quantity, the amount of pieces by these great composers. It's not only one piece, it's not testimonial, it's not, it's a long way. Tárrega also had this idea to create a big repertoire, and he made a big repertoire with big pieces. In this edition, we only have European composers, not Spanish, because the Tárrega in his transcriptions made two fields, Spanish music and international music. Okay, one more. Okay, with Chanterelle, Francisco Tárrega, the complete early Spanish editions. These transcriptions by Tárrega, this edition by Chanterelle, has transcriptions by Tárrega that were edited. There are commercial editions in that time. It's at the beginning of the 20th century. In reprints of the originals, it's this edition. I want to share the index of this. Okay. Here you have the index of Chanterelle. We have Bach, sonata, violin sonata, Bourré de las sonatas, violin, also Beethoven, music, piano music. And here we have Spanish music. Rafael Calleja Gómez is opera music. Zarzuela is the bufa, the opera bufa, the comic. Chopin, piano music. Handel, Haydn, Mozart, Schubert, and Schumann. These are original pieces, original editions. Okay. And the third one, Verven edition, Tárrega Opere per Chitarra, Volume 4, is only for transcription. Transcrizioni. Okay. What do we have in this edition? We have pieces by Albéniz, the famous Serenata Granada, that Albéniz, the composer, heard played on the guitar, and he said, wow, this is what I thought when I wrote this piece. Almagro, Spanish composer, Julián Arcas, Bach, pieces by violin. El Ave Maria, Gounod, famous piece. Beethoven, you can see how many pieces by Beethoven. Not only for the piano, also for chamber music, orchestral music, Marcha Fúnebre, Sinfonia. The symphony, I think, is the third symphony. Berlioz, music for orchestra. Arrigo Boito, music for orchestra. Giovanni. Fernández Caballero, Spanish composer, opera, Spanish opera, comic opera. One more. Calleja, Chapí are Spanish composers. Chopin. You can see how many pieces. Mazurcas, nocturnos, preludios, vals. It's amazing, eh? Chueca, Spanish composer, Eduardo di Capua, O Sole Mio, Solo Tuyo. It's a very famous piece. Habanera, Grieg, Handel, Haydn, Iradier Malats, all Spanish composers. So you can notice here these two fields. Spanish music and international. And the last screen. Okay. Maschiani, Pietro Maschiani, opera. Massenet, opera. Mendelssohn, piano music. Meyerbeer, opera music. Mozart, Paganini, Rubinstein, piano music Schubert, piano music Schumann, piano music Thalberg, piano Verdi, Verdi and Wagner, opera music, Verdi and Wagner, orchestral music, all the notes inside one guitar. He was amazing, Tárrega, how he understood that the guitar was able to play this big music. Okay, so nowadays we have this repertoire, we have these editions. Also, you can download on internet the original editions by Tárrega. So if you are interested to play this music, of course, you can use a modern transcription, but also you have the Tárrega's pieces, and you can compare how the idea of a transcription has changed from the beginning of the 20th century from nowadays. Okay. Of course, my opinion is always the same. If I want to play a guitar transcription, I make my own transcription. I go from the original piano music, for example, the original score, and I try to put all my ideas in my transcription. Of course, I compare different transcriptions because I can understand that, for example, David Russell, Manuel Barrueco, or Andrés Segovia, they have made a big and a good job with guitar transcription. So more of the pieces that you could play, there are already arranged. But also I made my own edition.
Fernando, I want to ask you about you mentioned the David Russell and Barrueco. It's a surprise for me that Barrueco make the Manuel de Falla editions. As he said, I make the recording in '87, and 34 years later, I decided to publish them. I did this because I thought they were extremely difficult, to the point being almost unplayable.
Yeah.
Do you think that some of these modern transcriptions by these super players, like Barrueco says, sometimes are unplayable for standard or students or something like that?
Yeah, that's I wanted to explain just before, and to leave this for the next lecture. The idea nowadays is to try to put all the notes on the guitar. Literally, no, it's the word. To make a literal transcription, to try to defend the original piece or the original idea of the composer. For example, as you say, Manuel de Falla, the pieces by the Sombrero Tres Picos, no, the three-horned hat.
Yes.
It's music for orchestra, and it's impossible to put all the notes on one guitar. So Barrueco probably he understood that in that time he's able to play this music. But have you heard these pieces on live concert?
But very few. Yeah, I think in the 80s something, but very difficult to play. He has to review again, and as he said in the editions, more alternative and easy for difficult parts that are unplayable. My original, his original 87 transcription. So I think
if you make a recording, you can try it several times.
Yes.
But if, but if you have to play on live concert, then I think you need to you have to choose a easier option. Yeah. So that's the question. A literal transcription is not easy. more if we are speaking about orchestral music. If you play piano music, it depends on the difficulty of the piece for the piano. Sometimes we can play more or the notes of the original piece, but sometimes not. And so in these occasions, I think the most important is that the music needs to sound naturally. It's if the difficulties give you so many problems, then the music doesn't flow so easy. For me, it's the most important that you need to create a piece that the music can flow, can go on without problems. Of course, not all the guitar players has the same level, so it depends if you want. It's the same like the original pieces for guitar in the 19th century. The great guitar players, Giuliani, Sor, Aguado, created difficult pieces, but these pieces were not easy to sell for the amateurs. So he also created easy pieces to sell scores and to win money. So for the transcriptions, it's the same. You can create a big and a difficult transcription, but at the end, if you want that to play in live concert, to sell scores, then you have to find a easier example. Huh?
What do you find in difference, for instance, when you saw the Sevilla original by Tárrega with the modern Sevilla by David Russell or Barreto that are very difficult?
Yeah. It's a difficult question, and we need more time about this because, you know, at that time, at the beginning of the 20th century, the idea of to play the guitar was different from now. They wanted to sing on the same string, to move on the down positions, to have sweeter sounds, and for Jovet or Pujol or Tárrega, Arcas, they wanted to sing as a voice or a cello instrument. Nowadays, we think that the guitar is more polyphonic, and we use more the first positions and open notes. So in that, if you compare different guitar transcriptions, you can notice that they take out many notes to make clear the melody, and the harmony is just clear, not all the notes.
Okay. Go ahead.
The last thing I want to show you is, for example, a score by. Okay, this piece is one of the pieces in Verben edition. It's a modern writing, and it's a Largo by Beethoven. I wanted to show you that at the first measures we have harmonies, full harmonies, and on the third staff we have arabescos. It's ornamentation of the melody. So I think it's easier to play with the piano fast and legato notes, but with the guitar, Tárrega also has created this idea of ornaments, 5 notes and slurs. Then a portamento to create the idea of a long melody without cut, and then still again these groups, tarariro, tarariro. it's, of course, it's a big job, but also we could compare with the original piano music and try to understand why Tárrega is using this like a portamento. It's a gruppetto. It's an ornament, baroque ornament. Tarariru, tarariru. And then also when we have short notes, he also used these ideas of ornaments, grace notes. It's the idea to adapt one original idea for the piano, big composer, to adapt this idea by Beethoven in a new idea for the guitar. And this idea fits on the guitar because the technique is a grace note. It's a left hand ornaments. Have you noticed how Tárrega used the idea of by Beethoven, and then he transformed it in a guitar technique?
Yeah, he transform pianistic patterns into guitaristic patterns.
Yeah, the piano is it's very easy to play for key, for the keys, but for the left hand, to make a legato idea, a big long melody, he had to resolve that questions. And the last, Cádiz by Albéniz. If you compare this piece, for example, Barrueco has this piece in A major, and Tárrega is D major. Sorry, it's a small guitar. Can you hear?
Yes, we can hear.
Barrueco arrangement is open position. But Tárrega is closer from the original. And then it's more difficult piece because you have all the notes very high positions, and you lose open strings. But if you like, you can compare, for example, Barrueco piece, and also my recording of this Cádiz Serenata in D major. The sound is different. It's higher tuning, and also the melody sings different. I think A major works much better for the guitar. Of course, we have open strings, basses, we have all the fingerboard to create all the harmonies and a long melody. But I wanted to record this piece with the original idea by Tárrega, because the sound is different. It's more closer. It's more confident. It's more difficult also. Let me. Here we have, of course, the sixth string is in D, but the idea is the same, and it works for the guitar because the original idea by Albéniz is to create a fandango, and this rhythm for the guitar, it works really good. But all the ideas in the piano music are also in the Tárrega piece. And if you compare with with a transcription by Barrueco. Also, you can notice that Tárrega, 100 years before, he thought the same. Great guitar player, great guitar composer, great guitar transcription maker. Okay, I don't know if you want to, if you like to ask me anything, something about. Today was a little bit theoretical lecture. The next one we can make practical. Also, you can prepare pieces by Tárrega, also transcriptions, and then we can work about it. I will prepare technical questions by Tárrega, and also I will show you not only a guitar transcription, but also when Tárrega create a new piece from another piece by another composer. For example, the Nocturno by Chopin, he creates his own cadenza for this piece, and also it's a new original piece. You have the piece by Chopin, but also you have 1 minute, minute and a half, minute and 30, 2 minutes, more or less, of a cadenza inside of this piece. So Tárrega thought and discovered a new way, not only his own compositions, but also with the ideas of other composers.
This is the reason he make a lot of opera variate, because the opera was the cinemas, the theater of his century, and people know very well the opera ideas and themes. So he wrote a lot of opera.
Yeah, of course, but
variations.
Yeah, and in that time, people hadn't the access to the music. It's not today. Nowadays, we can listen to Spotify or iTunes. We have the access of the music, but 150 years ago, it was easy, and the people and the audience hadn't the money to go to an opera concert. So it's easier to listen to a guitar or piano solo and to take these big melodies and to put for a solo instrument. The piano also had a big repertoire of transcriptions in that time, especially from opera music. The great melodies of the opera were transcribed to the piano or the string quarter or the guitar, because the people wanted to hear this music, and they hadn't the money or the theater to go to an opera house. So one commercial question is to create transcriptions, also fantasies from melodies of famous opera. For this reason, Giuliani created the Rossinianas. For example, is a good way to approach this music to guitar amateurs or standard amateurs standard audience.
Yes, okay. If somebody, well, I think we have to finish in 5 minutes more or less. If somebody wants to ask some questions to Fernando, I spotlight them. Nobody plays Tárrega or Tárrega transcriptions? Nikilesh, you are now online. Do you play something?
By Tárrega?
Yeah.
Yes, La Crema, then a few more pieces.
Which other?
Like,
Which more?
Mazurka.
Uh-huh. Are you playing some transcriptions?
No, I don't think so. I think till now I've only played the original for guitar once, but I would like to play some transcriptions.
Uh-huh. Well, some of the transcription, Fernando, are high level. See, is all difficult stuff for elementary, or you find easy transcriptions, which are because
No,
Traviata variations and stuff like that, or is intermediate or advanced?
no. The goal of Tárrega is he has all the difficulties. For example, you have very easy pieces for the guitar. For example, the Choral by Handel for the guitar is very easy. O Sole Mio is very easy. The Habanera La Paloma by Iradier, very easy to play on the guitar. Tárrega created difficult pieces for the guitar, but also easy pieces for amateurs. But these easy pieces are amazing. It's really nice pieces. But with the transcriptions, you have the same. You have all the levels, not only for great guitar performance. You can, for example, in my recording, La Paloma or Coral are very easy. Or Sole Mio is very easy to play on the guitar. So you can have it. You can have it.
Also, some of the preludios that
By
are
Chopin.
by Chopin,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
easy preludios by Chopin can be done for some of the transcriptions by elementary kids or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but when we think in Tárrega transcriptions, all the time to our head comes the hard, advanced
Of
repertoire.
course,
Yeah.
repertoire, of course. And the problem, well, not the problem, but if you want to play Granados or you want to play Albéniz or that kind of music, your first approach is to use the transcriptions by David Russell, Barrueco, John Williams, and Andrés Segovia, the big Andrés Segovia. You don't go farther to the past, no, and go to Tárrega pieces, because Tárrega has another style. It's more romantic style. Segovia is in the middle, and the super guitar players nowadays, the idea of transcription is different.
Okay,
Complex
we have to finish. I'm going to where is Akash? Okay, Akash is going to finish and say bye-bye to this workshop.
Hello. Yeah. So thank you so much. Tomorrow we have another lecture by Jose Manuel at the same time, 3:30. Let's do one thing before we end. Let's get a screenshot of all of us on the whoever's in the meeting. If you guys can switch your video on, if you want to do it, and just let's take a screenshot.
Yeah,
actually, I won't be able to. Can you take a screenshot?
Yeah, I did a quick screenshot at the beginning with all of you. Don't worry. Also, I recorded the video.
Okay, great. So then, thank you. Then we'll see you tomorrow at the same time.
Okay, it's a pleasure for me, and see you next time.
Okay. Bye-bye.